We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we can customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets. I believe if you want to talk about voting and voting choice and all the things, if we know every moment who is the owner of that stock, and it's now time to vote, every individual who has ownership is identified and they can vote their own shares.
Is this the end of mutual funds?
I think, well, a lot of people, it's a wrapper. It's not the end of it, but I would say the dominant form of bringing products going forward will be in the form of ETFs.
It's the end of traditional financial systems. That is the world we are heading into. That Larry Fink, the CEO and founder of BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager in the world, is stating in this interview. Now, why are we talking about RWAs? Well, it's going to be because BlackRock has came out and announced that they are launching a $100 million tokenized asset fund using Ethereum. This is the next wave of cryptocurrencies. A lot of people believe this will be the next 100x industry, and is exactly why you are seeing real-world assets, or at least the RWA projects today, with this announcement pumped by 80, 90%. TokenFi here up 43%. Now, out of all these projects, which are the RWA tokens and altcoins that are going to be the most beneficial in this next bull run? Which ones have the opportunity to replace the traditional financial system? That is what we're going to find out into today's video. But first, we need to figure out what RWAs are. And the only way we can do that, or at least in my opinion, the best way, is by simply actually going over to Chainlink's website, where they have this quick 60-second breakdown on what real-world assets are. And this will allow us to analyze the plethora, or the dozens of altcoins like Ando that exist in the RWA market, and which ones have the best chance or highest opportunity of seeing those 10, 20, or potentially 100x gains. Here we go.
Tokenization is revolutionizing asset management, but simply creating tokens isn't enough. Tokens also need to move across blockchains, be purchasable in different currencies, and remain updated with key data. Only Chainlink provides all the services needed to unlock the full potential of tokenized real-world assets. Whether it's CCIP, moving tokens cross-chain, price feeds, supplying exchange rates for cross-currency purchases, proof of reserve, verifying the collateral backing on-chain assets, automation triggering transactions when specific events occur, functions keeping traditional systems and blockchains in sync, a blockchain abstraction layer enabling enterprises to securely interact with any blockchain through one integration, or Deco providing proofs around identity data. The Chainlink platform is how tokenized real-world assets achieve mass adoption. The next era in finance is here.
Wow. Yeah. So bullish on Chainlink, to say the least. And again, real-world assets here, tokenized real-world assets, RWAs. That is the lettering, or the three letters you'll need to know if you guys are watching just anybody on social media talk about these, are blockchain-based digital tokens that represent physical and traditional financial assets such as cash, commodities, that's going to be like gold, silver, copper, etc., bonds, credit, artwork, and intellectual property. So why are these tokens seeing massive price pumps today? Well, of course, again, guys, it is going to come to the fact that Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, and of course his institution, announced they are launching their tokenization fund. So what is in this fund? Well, this crypto journey is going to be the digital liquidity fund, and it is the latest step in BlackRock's broader journey in a digital asset industry, following the introduction of the spot Bitcoin ETF IBIT in January. The ETF has been seeing record-setting performance since it launched, and it rapidly attracted over $15 billion in assets under management. The firm has also announced and has an Ethereum ETF application in the pipeline and is considered to be bullish on both crypto and the underlying blockchain technology that allows tokenization. This is why these assets are moving. It's off the announcement of BlackRock. The leader today, which is probably one of the smaller altcoins, and again, no affiliation to these, we're just looking at the live charts here, is Decentralized ETF, which proclaims to be the first future blockchain-based ETF. So anything is going to pump based off buzzwords, and that's what's happening in this sector. Whether these projects or these cryptos actually have strong utility, whether or not they're actually even able to compete in this industry, or whether or not it's even accessible to US-based institutions does not matter when a new trend is emerging, and I'm going to prove that to you right now. So, of course, guys, when we look through the SEC forms and all these filings, these are going to show that BlackRock, yes, is investing hundreds of millions of dollars into the sector. And they partnered with a project called Securitize, okay? Securitize is going to be the lead partner that is providing this access through these private markets in the tokenization with BlackRock. And they are among some of the most innovative companies, according to themselves, in 2024. Now, as blockchain technology reshapes the financial landscape, Securitize has emerged as the leader in tokenization. In September of 2022, Securitize worked with the global investments firms KKR to tokenize an interest in KKR's Healthcare Strategic Growth Fund 2. This marked their first time exposure to KKR private equity funds and was available on public blockchain for individual investors in the United States. So they started a few years back, and in fact, they actually date back to 2017. So this company is a market leader in the private market asset space. And this is where projects like Ando here are pumping. It's not because they're partnered directly with BlackRock. It's not because they're partnered with Securitize. It's because BlackRock and Securitize are working together to launch this fund. And when you go to Ando's website, all right, Ando-Finance, this is actually their GitHub. Let's go ahead and scroll down to, we're doing this live, Ando.Finance right here. You're going to notice that it says it's an institutional grade finance that allows now on-chain integrations. And on their website, yes, guys, this is why these markets are pumping. This is why Ando is up 16% right now. And of course, in the last 7 days, we can see it went from 39 cents up to 60 cents or so 40 to 50% gain, because Ando Finance has BlackRock listed on its website. So this is right next to where it says exceptional partners, superior assets, and world-class client service. And all they state here isn't that they're partnering with BlackRock, but that they use high-quality assets and managers. Our funds invest exclusively into multi-billion-dollar, highly liquid and exchange-traded fund managed by the world's most prominent bond managers. They are not, and at least I can't find any direct partnership linked to BlackRock, other than the fact that they're investing and utilizing their RWA strategy by, of course, investing into BlackRock's ETFs. They also use regulated service providers. They also use third-party audited security like ImmuneFi and QuantStamp, and experienced leadership comes from companies such as Goldman Sachs. So this is gaining a lot of steam. So what does this project do? Well, Ando is building the next generation of financial infrastructure to improve market efficiency, transparency, and accessibility. So I'm going to be giving you guys a price prediction on Ando. I'm also going to be going through a Twitter thread that goes over the top projects in this sector. Now, I can't talk for the individual that's in this thread, who is going to be Mags. So, take this as a disclaimer. I don't know if he is sponsored to talk about these. He's calling this the 100x narrative, but it's a great breakdown of where Ando and these price points these cryptos could reach in price points. So let's dive into these price predictions. We have Mags here. If you missed the AI narrative, there's one narrative which is still undervalued and has 100x potential. Of course, this is just marketing. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, is bullish on this narrative. Yes, it's real-world assets, RWA. Real-world assets, again, are those tokenizations of tangible assets that exist in the physical world that are brought on-chain. Larry Fink is betting on this, and Wall Street says this is a $10 trillion tokenization play. Now, in comparison, I love this comparison he pulls up here, which is NFTs versus RWAs. We have BlackRock, one of the largest institutions in the world, bullish on RWAs. Money's going to flow into these cryptos, guys, whether they're good or not. And that is something I really hope I could teach you guys in these industries. Marketing, buzzwords, trends. There's always going to be a new narrative, and there's always going to be investments in entrepreneurs trying to capitalize off of it. For example, the AI sector. 95% of these projects are just simple tools that are going to be outdated within 6 months because they're using ChatGPT 3.5 or ChatGPT 4, which will be outdated when ChatGPT 5 comes into play. So when you see these language models, right? Like, for example, there's a lot of AI voice automated programs out there that allow you to scale, kind of like if you want to talk to me, I don't have to talk to you. You can pay $1,000 a month to use my service, which is just a language model built around my identity. So you can ask me questions and it can respond to you on my behalf. That is a language idea. I foresee that being implemented into iPhones within 6 months to 2 years, right? That's probably just going to be a feature with the iPhone 16. You're just going to be able to ask Siri, and Siri you can literally build your own personalized Siri assistant. I see that coming, right? So why do you need a token to gatekeep technology for AI products? Well, again, it's because there's companies that are, of course, taking advantage of the liquidity and the easy capital raise in the emerging sector. And I do expect that with these RWAs because the NFT market, guys, we're not even comparing this to AI, is a $42 million billion market capitalization. RWAs right now sit at only roughly 4.1 billion. So even if we were just to compare RWAs to the small NFT market, we still have a 10x in terms of opportunity, which means there's still a lot of opportunity like 20, 30, 40, 50x's within the RWA narrative. So scroll on, he goes, advantages. RWA have many advantages in opening up infinite liquidity opportunities, allowing investors of all sizes to enter and participate. Here are the top 5 reasons he's bullish on it. Liquidity boost. Tokenizing assets such as real estate turns traditional illiquid and slow-moving assets into tokens. Fractional ownership. Fractional ownership is one of the most fascinating use cases for RWAs. Yeah, because we need more fractional banking, right? Fractional banking definitely didn't fail once. Well, this makes it easier and better. Makes it more transparent as well. The blockchain's transparent ledger ensures that every transaction and ownership detail of an RWA is recorded and openly verifiable. So it's easier for these asset managers like BlackRock to track you, to analyze you, to pull data, which is going to be extremely beneficial to them when they develop stronger, more abundant ETFs in the future. You also have an inclusivity. The movement of tokenized assets through DeFi channels paves the way for new markets in financial instruments, which of course, the world's largest asset manager in the world, when they hear more money, more liquidity, more trillions of dollars, yeah, they're going to tap into this industry and this sector. So moving on into this, we have number 1, according to Mags here, is Prop Chain, which works on tokenizing real estate. $36 million market cap. No idea where this currently sits. Of course, this price is in an uptrend slowly, and I would imagine if we were to just simply type in Prop C on our coin gecko here, Prop C, it might have actually moved with the announcement today as well. So Prop C. We could see that Prop C is currently sitting at something. It won't load here, but it's definitely going to be somewhere on the website. Prop C, that's Prop S. Prop C is Prop Chain. So no, it actually hasn't even moved here today. So it's definitely not one of the benefactors or the ones that benefited from the RWA narrative that was pumped today. So number two is going to be real world assets through DeFi. $42 million market cap. He has a price target of 120. Will it happen? I'm not sure. I'm not going to actually talk about, Five Fires. You guys, I recommend you go check out this Twitter thread from Mags if you want to learn more about them. The one we're going to cover here today is definitely Ando, which is, of course, bringing publicly traded securities on chain and is now worth roughly $1 billion, $841 million. So since the time of his listing and him talking about this, it has done roughly a 2x in that price action. So Ando again, what is my price prediction for Ando and what is my favorite real world project? That is what I'm talking about right now with you guys. So Ando, let's go ahead and give a market cap calculator, okay? I want to compare this to something else that, of course, is analyzing those real world assets. And that project is going to be Chainlink. Chainlink, in my opinion, is the number one platform for these real world assets. Of course, there's going to be a lot as well on top of Bitcoin's network. So I'm going to go ahead and put Ando in and compare it to Chainlink. If it were to reach Chainlink's current market cap, that is still a 12.65x from where Ando is sitting at today. So is that possible? Well, of course, we're going to pull up TradingView here, and we're going to just analyze the movement of Ando itself using just some basic TA levels. Ando is currently sitting at about a price point of 59 cents. And we are going to want to zoom out on the daily time scale here and see where that price action originated. So after launching in the mid-January platform at around 19 cents, 20 cents here, at least is on TradingView for Binance here, it has done a massive gain from a bottom of 17 cents to about 48 or 65 cents, a 281% gain, which of course, guys, doesn't seem like a lot, but when we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, that is quite some movement. So my comparison here isn't going to be, it's not enough data to really look over on a long time period. Right now on the daily, the RSI is about to test that close here on the 14th with its SMA. That MACD is starting to reverse, so maybe we will get some resistance around that all-time high of 64 cents. But Ando could be about to head into that price discovery. And if we go to the 4-hour here, we can see it's actually pretty overbought on that 4-hour. So while there's some more upside, it does look like it's going to have some resistance at that 66 cent level easily as it anticipates newer all-time highs. So it's probably going to follow Bitcoin more towards a correction. And of course, I would say this 4-hour, this movement came with the announcement, this big pump came with the announcement from BlackRock. So can it hit Chainlink? Well, in my perspective, guys, Chainlink has the Oracle providing. It's got all the institutional volume. It's got, if you check out this video right here that DZ broke down the massive value it's bringing to institutions with its beta launch of everything it's doing with CCIP. It's not even public yet. There's so much more money that can come into Chainlink as an Oracle service as with the CCIP, and now, of course, tokenizing these real-world assets. I think the platform is just much stronger, and it's a better place. And so I'm not going to say Ando can be on par with Chainlink. I believe Chainlink deserves to be in that top 5 category on altcoins. It's a blue chip. Maybe I'm biased. It is what it is. But from that perspective, Ando, guys, could easily, in my opinion, hit a $3 to $4 billion market cap. Why is that? So that's still roughly a 3 to 5x from where it's at today. Now, will that happen? Of course, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't predict the future. But what I'm basing this off on isn't going to be its website, because its treasuries, its yields, its stablecoin, from my understanding, it's actually not even available to a lot of US-based institutions. So even if these US institutions were to utilize Ando just from legality purposes, they wouldn't be able to actually pull their funds out from those US treasuries. So it is limiting their partners and their reach. But from a retail perspective, retailers, all they're going to want to look at, guys, is this. All they're going to see is BlackRock on the website, and they're going to immediately relate that to Ando. So Ando times BlackRock, and that equals a very strong buzzword. That equals a very strong marketing strategy and tactical reasoning behind why the price is going to move higher. And that it sounds absurd, guys, but that's how crypto works. That's how these markets work. So you can go through the ecosystem. You could see all the integrations that it has. I would look deeper into the actual stablecoin providing, because, for example, here USDY, US dollar yield, says it can earn you 5.10%. There's about 100 million in TVL on this alone. OUSG has another 100 million, and they have this OMMF that is coming soon for US money markets. So there's a few hundred million in total value locked, but it would be, what is the accessibility to this? Is this only accredited investors? Is this only those large-scale institutions? That would be the deeper dive where I would look into, okay, is this something that can compete with the BlackRocks when they launch their tokenized assets, especially if they just go through something like the CCIP? They don't have to utilize this network. So can there be a partnership in the future? 100%. But that's complete based off speculation. So a realistic perspective on Ando from me, or from my personal experience, my personal opinion, would be that this still could see some upside, but I wouldn't bet on it, hitting that $100 billion market. I want to bet on it hitting that top 10 market cap. I think Chainlink, even though, again, it's coming off as a biased perspective, is a much stronger competitor within that RWA category. So with that, okay, the top altcoins in this sector, Chainlink by far is number 1, in my opinion, in my books. Number 2 would have to be Rondo in terms of market cap. I still think its website's clean. They got some good integration. Whether or not I think their product is actually going to be hugely successful, I think it can run with the RWA narrative. Decentralized ETFs, shout out to them for just the genius marketing behind just choosing that name. But you could see other products on here, right? Everest ID. Shout out to Everest ID team. I think their product is really good. This is actually, in my opinion, Everest ID is by far a better competitor to WorldCoin, which is Sam Altman's centralized entity that sucks. Everest ID, their CEO, was the one behind, I think he actually helped with their white paper, which his name is Bob. Great guy, great team here. Obviously, the price action is south here, so do your own research. It's a $12 million market cap. I don't hold it, but I do like the team and the decentralization aspect of how data and identity should work on chain from them. So moving to other RWAs here, you have Pendle, LCX. Some of these are big names that you guys have seen with. Nextro, which is Alliance Block, it used to be ALBT. That's another shift. Where I'm going to kind of land on with this industry, guys, is it's not the one I'm the most bullish on. I'm going to say I'm more bullish on Bitcoin DeFi, Layer 2s, and those decentralized protocols that are helping elevate the lending, borrowing, and vaults and the total value locked within emerging ecosystems. RWAs, I feel like, are going to be another ISO 222 trend. So there's a lot of value. There's a lot of utility. There will be successful projects, but it's not, in my opinion, going to be the industry or sector that outpace the rest that are developing here today. So that's kind of my takeaway here, guys. Let me know in the comments below. What are your favorites, of course, RWA projects? Are you jumping in heavy on these? Of course, I'm a large Chainlink bag holder. I love Chainlink. Shout out to the Chainlink Marines in the chat here below. But let me know, what do you believe Ando can hit? Can it replace Chainlink? Those are the questions I have, and the questions I guess we will see answered in the coming year. But besides that, guys, I'll see you at the top.